We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if this works.
So,
All right, guys, say something. See if the people can hear you.
something. Maybe they can, maybe they can't. We can talk about the intricacies of human expression via language, or we can try and actually make a game like we said we were going to do.
Does your food contain red 40? If so, send it to me. I'm collecting all the red 40 in the world. I'm going to poison the Los Angeles water supply with red 40. Oh, no.
Or we could just, eat it.
Mm.
Ugh.
Seems like you guys are coming through just fine. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the stream. It's time yet again for making a TTRPG. Everybody's here gets to say they were here before it was cool. Because one of these days, well, it probably won't be cool, but it'll be published. So you can still be hipsters in your own way.
Yeah, hipsters. Rude.
Alright. Just in case the music was overpowering Hyperphase, I turned on the ducker. So this should actually
Let me
quiet
move
down for you guys.
my microphone in front of me now that I am doing this, and it was
That
next
is
to
much
me
clearer.
while I was doing other stuff. So
Is that the guy that goes around in the circle and duck, duck, goose, goose, duck, 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 duck?
the
Is he
ducker,
the ducker? Yeah.
he's the fowler because he is also doing goose.
You can't be a gooser. That's not socially acceptable anymore. You can't just goose people.
Can't just goose.
I don't know if that's ever been really socially acceptable.
Oh.
Just, just saying.
Ducking your... Sorry, it's like, have you been ducking me? It's like, no, would you like to? Quack! Just like, get like a bazooka with a duck in it.
Potato gun that you put a duck in.
The Duck Bazooka.
Duck-
Scourge of the Seven Seas. Oh God. Why is my microphone tilted? That's gonna drive
Admiral.
me fucking crazy.
Malad.
Oh God, that's gonna drive me nuts. Why is it crooked? Nothing will ever be right again.
The crooked.
Lieutenant Ernest
It's
P.
like
Wood Duck. You know.
it's like 4 degrees off center, and I hate it. I just can't.
Yeah.
It's fucking. It wasn't crooked. Why is it crooked? Why? Why are you crooked today? You know what? I'm not gonna fixate on this.
You know what
I'm gonna drop some water and chill the fuck out.
was dumb that I didn't do is I didn't bring any fidgety things in here. I don't think that was silly of me.
All of mine are too noisy right on this desk.
There's some dice over there I can mess with, but
Thanks.
they're also too
Oh,
noisy because I don't have a mat under this stuff right now. I didn't put a mat under, so I don't want to roll dice on the wood because it'll be way louder than when I was rolling dice on a play mat and it didn't make a lot of noise. Now it'll be all clattery.
a average bear went to Dragon Con in Atlanta because he lives here.
He did actually go.
Yeah, he went. And he saw something that he got. He thought of me when he saw it, so he bought it. He's mailing it to me.
Nice.
It's a set of dice. Which is... They're cool. I'll get to show those off one stream soon, I guess. Tried the fidget cube. Okay. I thought I only glanced at that. Have you ever tried the fidget cube? It's nice. Says Ellie Transfer. I glanced at that and I thought, have you ever tried the fight cube? Fight is what my brain thought it said. I was like, fight cube.
Press one of the little buttons on it. It's just like, don't fuck with me. It starts attacking.
It's like a
Yes,
mimic.
the
It's like a
fight
tiny
cube.
mimic. Oh.
No, that'd be sticky. That'd be bad.
Ooh, yeah. No, I have not tried a fidget cube. I just find things and mess with them.
Yeah.
So do you know the problem with a fidget cube? They're
No.
mostly for people who have attention problems and frequently misplace things.
Oh yeah, so then you lost the fidget cube? Is that what
Because it has no other function, yeah. So the crap I fidget with is stuff that has other functions normally, so it like goes in a place and is used for a thing. Shit, like staplers or whatever. Like I don't have one, but whatever. I used to work and there was a stapler.
This is why you need a mimic fidget cube so it sticks to you.
A mimic. Yeah.
So it just where always returns back to the spot wherever you lose it, but it's got like covered in just random shit.
Yeah.
Return to send.
Ooh, my blue version. Anyway.
I have a whole chest next to this desk. I can open up. And see what sights
audio
behold.
isn't terrible. That's great. I mean, it's not
Like a bike pump.
the best, but let's go face live and see how well that pans out. Because I couldn't fit my fucking light on my desk, so I'm like half eclipsed over here till I can get that settled. But faces, there they are.
Face live.
My face.
Got one of these.
There it is.
There we are. There us is.
One of the USNC cards from Reach Special Edition or Legendary Edition. Apparently, if you hit a black light, it has Halsey in it.
Fix this.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, which somebody only found out like years. I'm talking about like more than 10 years after Reach came
moving
out.
my camera to the right, and it's just it's having no effect. That makes no fucking sense. Anyway, just move this so I can actually be in frame, kind of.
Patrick, you got positivity masked by Molly.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna go first while Patrick's doing a thing because I'm gonna base it off the thing he's doing.
You guys are not audible. Give me a
In a
second.
minute. Oh, hi. You should be able to hear me.
Or at least not to me.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what's happening.
God. The art for this song is amazing.
Yeah. Okay. There. Oh, fuck. I got a positivity mass on me.
Yes, that's what I was saying. So, and I was gonna go while you were messing with shit, but now that you think that, anyways. Ready?
No.
Well, okay. Too bad. I'm doing it anyways.
Well, I'll listen, but I'm gonna see if I can get my light source to work.
I'll listen, but I won't like it. Yeah. I was gonna say, since you're messing with stuff and trying to configure things, I really appreciate your attention to detail. It is something that has helped us all be better, and has helped me in particular be better at doing things. I greatly appreciate how much time and effort you put into the things that you find important, and that goes along with attention to detail. It helps me be better at things, and it also just helps, I think, all of us in general be able to be around someone who calls us out to be the best that we can be, which is nice and is super useful. So there you go.
Thanks, I hate it.
Yep, you're welcome.
I like all the characters he comes up with. They're always hot.
That's I think that's more you thing there, buddy.
Nah, it's definitely Patrick making all these hot characters.
Listen, when everyone's hot, no one is.
Take that bet. Mahashawek ain't hot. Well, he's physically hot.
I was gonna say he is a fire method. So.
Yeah. Panda's out. Sorry, I just read some chat. No, on a more serious note, he writes characters that I or really hate. He writes characters that I feel strong emotions about.
Yeah, one way or the other. That's
Yeah.
You are emotionally connected to one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. Bitch, gotta die. This bitch has gotta die. Ellie says, Patrick is super awesome, and I love how enraged he gets about Birdemic. Criticisms are hilarious.
I mean, it is terrible. I mean, it's terrible. Speaking of Birdemic and knowing how mad Patrick is about it, you too could also learn about how angry Patrick gets at terrible movies if you joined our Patreon and came to our monthly hangouts at the whatever $1 a month tier it is. I forget.
Yep.
I'm bad at remembering those things. They're important, though.
I stupidly also posted the page, the Don't Sleep to This podcast to just Patreons, because I just thought all Patreons get it. I didn't know who actually got it.
Specific tier.
I hate that. Oh, I hate that. No.
The light. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. That's why I live here in my dank, dark garage cave.
I just don't like I don't like being overlit like that, because it's just like, look, you have giant bags under your eyes. I'm like, okay, like, that's not what I look like. But yes, thank you all. I appreciate it. To answer your question, Ellie, it's not that the light source is further away. I used to have a light, like one of those freaking ring lights for like makeup streamers or whatever do. I used to have it right on the other side of my monitors. It's not there anymore. I also dropped it, so it broke, but it still produces light. I just can't, in this setup, I can't fit it behind there anymore. So I gotta find another place for it, so I can actually have front illumination that isn't my monitors. So yeah, just one of those things for now. I'll get it figured out later.
I was gonna see if the closet light was enough. It's not.
I could do that. I think there's a light in there. I'm not sure actually.
I think I might do a Dave's daughter and run some kind of lights around the edges of the room. So I think that'd be cool.
Oh,
I can probably also just stand.
I need to
right
put up them Christmas lights.
Yep. It's not like my mom has a lack of Christmas lights. She's got like 3 tubs full with varying colors.
I don't really want to mount it's not that big of a ring light. I don't really want to put that up on a wall, honestly.
I also got a hula hoop. I can run the Christmas lights around the hula hoop and make it.
What I probably do is if I can get the stand off of it again, I can just probably set onto like the mic arm and have it just rest against the monitors. That would probably work just fine.
A DIY ring light.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to text. Won't put his name out on here, but our landlord dude, and be like, if I like nail some egg crate and shit to these walls, is that gonna be a big problem? Because most places don't have a problem with like nail holes, like as long as they're just small ones.
Yeah.
But
if it's a large amount of nail holes, or
I
holes,
mean,
maybe, I don't know.
worst case
but you don't
scenario,
need much.
I can patch holes in a wall, not hard.
Yeah.
They're easy to patch, just like. But it doesn't take a lot, because they're not like, I'm not gonna put physical like actual egg crates up.
Mm-hmm.
Just the actual, just the like the foam material that's called that.
Yeah.
And you can get them in long or like full squares, and it doesn't take like a lot of nails to hang it up.
Oh yeah, they're not heavy. They're very light foam.
Yeah. And I don't think I need a lot. I think I just need. I need to take Colin up on his offer to let me set up an actual studio, so to speak.
Studio.
Because he built his own like home studio forever ago, and it was dope. He has YouTube videos up on it. He just hasn't posted in like a year. So, anyway, I digress.
Colin, no.
I think he just gave up on it because got busy and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's part of what happens in life sometimes.
But that's not why we're here.
It's not. That's
I'm
news to
also not
me.
here for me to break my work mouse with my fucking giant metal water ball thing.
It's also news to me.
Giselle says, run into Francis Tuttle and grab all those loose foam walls.
I don't know if they're gonna let me do that. So I know for a fact I don't know nobody up there no more. That was, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but that was closer to 20 years ago than it was 10.
Yeah.
So
I
It's
pulled
been
that
a
on my
minute.
mom. My mom was talking. She has a trip next week, and she was like, "Yeah,
Mhm.
last time we did this thing with my sisters, it was for my sister Mona's 50th birthday." I was like, "Yeah, that was almost 20 years ago." My mom goes, "No, because I'm 60 whatever," and I was like, "And Mona's older than you, Mom. That was almost 20 years ago." She was like, "Oh, that's right." I was like, "Yeah."
Yep.
A 6-pack of acoustic panels that
But I
are
owned the house. Oh no.
are 12 by
I
12,
do not own a house.
$13. Yeah.
I don't have that kind of old money, Ellie. And I don't have that kind of new money either. I just don't have that kind of money.
Money.
No matter what time it comes from. I did have a very, very good paying job when we all moved there. And they fired everyone. I was everyone. I was part of it at least. I was one of many
I was
everyones.
say, there you go. That because initially you said that made it sound like they only fired you.
Right? Yeah. That would have been being
I was
laid
a-
off. That would have just been being
Yes.
terminated. But yeah, no, I got laid off with like a bunch of other folks. Yeah, but we'd have to have a credit to get a loan to like actually buy a house, and that just wasn't gonna happen. Cool. So on to other bleak and desolate things besides the current economy and the housing market. Let's talk about magic born of the Humours. Magic born of the Humours, and robbing the voiceless of their priceless assets and life-giving fluids.
Yeah. Let's see. Where did we leave off?
We left off. This is gonna show. It did. We left off talking about. We figured out the basics of the sanguine humor. That is blood, which is also associated with air, of course. So that's like our lightning and wind and that kind of shit. Whenever what the simple function of it was the ability to release a burst of air within about 5 yards per dose. I need to move this thingy because chat cannot see it. Why is it like this though? Who knows? Let's adjust it so that chat can witness it in all its glory. Go about here, slide that over. Also, you want to have a good time, ask ChatGPT to explain old shows that you have no interest in watching to you.
Dude, yeah,
tell
Dawson's
it
Creek
to
was
make up
funny.
a different version of it.
Oh my god, man. We did that with Dawson's Creek and it was hilarious. Because neither Patrick or I have ever seen Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, no. Neither
So
of them.
asking it to first explain the show to us and then asking it to create an alternate, grittier post version of the show was just fantastic.
It came up with the classic line of, I've won many cases in my lifetime, but I can't seem to win at life.
Yeah, it was
We were
gold.
fucking dying.
Utter gold.
What kind of cheesy fucking melodrama shit?
Oh man, yeah, it was something else, that's for sure.
You know, some character was a freaking high-powered lawyer, and that
Oh.
was their moment.
It's amazing.
Correct.
It was dumb. I loved it.
Uh,
Great
Yeah.
time.
It's like when I
so.
I thought I was gonna watch the reboot of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and then I found out they turned it into like a dark series, and I was like, no, never mind. I was wanting the goofy comedy stuff.
Peruvian, yeah, I bet Peruvian food's good. I haven't. I can't think of any kind of cuisine that I've tried for the first time and went, these people can't cook. I don't think I've had that experience yet.
Me either. I've yet to run into a like nationality style of food that I was not about.
Yeah, any kind of like foreign food I've eaten, it's usually the first time I eat it, I'm like, what have we been doing? why don't we have this everywhere?
Yeah, why don't we eat more of these?
Yeah. But cool, yeah. Have to check it out sometime. Yes, we talked about the sanguine humor of blood, and we pretty much built out our kind of basis for how the humors get used, what they're capable of. Figured out we could kind of come up with what is the basic thing you can do if you just invoke a dose of the humor. Excuse me. And once we got that figured, everything else started to fit together. I think the hardest one that still is going to need some work is the psychomancy section, the mental energy manipulation, because like trying to quantify the intensity of emotional manipulation is pretty difficult. That's going to take a little bit more research.
Yeah, it's not easy, that's for sure. Well, okay, sorry, haggis specifically, but Scottish food in general is good. That's what I'm talking about. It's like Scottish food is fine. I've never tried haggis, but as a vegetarian, I can't imagine I would. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho, so
yeah, there's dishes you won't like, but
yeah.
I mean, a lot of people like blood pudding, Ellie. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Dave won't eat it.
No.
It'd be weird to come with a vegetarian version of blood pudding. It's like, what are you doing? Just make something else.
Yeah.
But
if you talk to me like, I don't know, 16 years ago or whatever, then maybe. But
yeah, there's blood in a lot of stuff. I've probably had it and just didn't realize what it was when I've eaten foreign food.
Corsican blood sausage, and it was fantastic.
It's basic, like blood pudding is pretty much just a blood sausage, just in like a slightly different format.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's good.
Anyway, listen,
yeah.
beet pudding is actually good. I've had something similar to that. Yeah,
it
was sugared.
Like it was
so it was beets, but it was sugared, and it was basically pudding. It wasn't actually pudding, but it was pretty close. It was like a beet puree thing, and it was pretty much pudding.
I'll take your word for it.
It was good.
I'm not huge on beets, so that's me. That's a personal thing. But there's certain stuff I like. I mean, it's really earthy, so it's like I can't imagine it in pudding.
Yeah.
Well, maybe like if they're prepared to feel like if they're beets made by me, they're done a certain way. But if they're like
beets made by Dre,
beets by Dre may be a little different.
They're not. They're just heavier.
Just heavier.
Which means the quality's better, right?
Does it?
They just stick arbitrary pieces of metal into the beets.
Like airsoft guns. They glue pieces of like rebar in there to make them feel like, oh, now heavyweight.
Dude, people associate the like weight of things with the quality of them. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. But yes.
Giselle says, speaking of food for the last time, hopefully I made chocolate mouse tonight. Well, enjoy your chocolate mouse.
Mouse.
And I know what's happening is she's now looking up how to spell moose and probably has a frown on her face being like, wait, what? How, did I spell it wrong? Yeah, Giselle, I can see you. I don't know if you realize that. But anyway.
Do you know why the plural of moose is not meese?
Does it sound
Whereas
stupid?
The plural of goose is geese. Sorry, I'm hitting you with the triangle as I talk. Because goose is from whatever language it's derived from. This is say Latin. The plural form would be geese, whereas moose is a Native American word, which does not follow the rules of Latin.
Goose
So
is
interesting.
Germanic, by the way.
Also, you're allowed to do the triangle as long as you don't turn them into squares. You start doing that, shit starts blowing up, and you grow a third eye.
Oh, the squirrels make a circle.
You have to have like a whole villain arc, kill somebody, get redeemed.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot, man.
We got to do the anime glasses too, like the picture we have of JB with the anime glasses.
Can't.
But yeah, so we got that did with Sanguine. We have all the other humors together. I don't know what fucking way I need to be. I'm just gonna this will do. I'm gonna go over here because I'm gonna look this way. Yeah, there we go.
Where are we?
So we did manage to finish Sanguine.
I'm in the
Oh yeah, it's on a Humors and Recovery.
Okay, yeah. I was like,
the
I'm in the
document.
wrong doc. Okay.
And then you'll scroll all the way down until you get to the Humors. It's on like the third page.
Cool. Oop, that's the wrong drive. Yeah.
Sorry, I know you guys are hearing that.
Yeah, I thought I did that for a second then. Okay, I'm in the right spot. Well, wonderful.
So our next one is melancholic, that being black bile associated with earth. Earth. So yeah, I guess like we're just gonna follow the format, just like we did before. We'll come up with what does the simple thing do. In our Sanguine example, a release of Sanguine humor creates a burst of air with a radius of 5 yards. Air moves at, I'm gonna correct that to roughly 50 miles per hour. So, someone invokes choleric humor. Do we want it to? Yeah, I don't know. Just how do you see that going? Like, if you imagine it, I don't know if you're a theater kid, so I imagine you do. I don't know if you think in scenes like I do.
Yeah.
But if you would imagine, if you were to imagine an instructor of some kind, has a bunch of students, together, doing a lecture or whatever, and he's like coaching someone through invoking a dose of melancholic humor. When they finally do it, what do you envision happening as the expected result of just the invocation, not actually doing like a spell, so to speak? You imagine it like actually just producing earth, or like manipulating the earth around it, or
that's a good question, because I don't imagine it just producing earth, because that seems odd, it's like
that seems like the
almost
manifestation thing, right?
yeah, and also it just like in my mind is like you just throw up ground all of a sudden. That's terrible. Just blah.
Right?
It's much more like a burst of energy into the ground or something like that in my mind.
What kind of energy?
Well, I mean, or from the ground, I guess. Whereas like the earth, like spikes up, kind of a la earthbending.
Yeah,
mentally.
So it more manipulates the earth around or something like that, right?
Right.
Okay. This is already tougher than I expected.
Yeah.
That's okay. Once we get the basic part down, the rest start to fall into place.
Mm-hmm.
So if we, so the invocation does like, could it be gravity?
I mean,
Could we have it where like the invocation actually just draws things towards the earth?
we totally could.
Does that sound I don't know, right? Does that seem,
not,
I mean, it sounds interesting, but
yeah, it's certainly not the worst idea I've ever heard. I'll tell you that. But no, I hadn't thought of it, but I do
high
like
praise.
that. Well, no, I mean,
I
you know
know,
what I mean.
just,
It's
yeah.
definitely not a bad idea. I just had not thought of it in that way.
Yeah, it's when you first said like a burst of energy towards the Earth. That's kind of what got the wheel spinning on that.
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, I see that. I can see
It
that.
doesn't seem to be stepping on. It doesn't step on the toes of all the other skills. Like it's not the same thing as shaping or biomancy or infusion or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So we can have it that like it pulls things towards it essentially, but or so that just looking ahead a little bit, that does, if we have it just pull things in like a vacuum, we do also have the element of void later,
Right.
which that seems more fitting for. Obviously, gravity and vacuum are different. Like,
Well, and I mean, if we're talking about specifically pulling things to the Earth, whereas if we're moving things with void, it's going to be moving them towards yourself or towards another thing, whereas this is specifically moving things down towards the ground.
Okay, so yeah, maybe it's if we're thinking of it like gravity thing, maybe it's like, I guess that actually also raises the question, what determines where a basic invocation centers, right? Is it literally like a thing where you throw it onto a spot and say the word or whatever to release it, and that's where it centers? So you could like invoke something and like throw a vial, and like wherever it lands is where the effect happens. So that it could be like a grenade in essence.
Yeah.
Or would that, like I was about to get a little more complicated. Is that the most basic boiling down of it? So that we're like, you could obviously do that, but if oh my gosh, let me get my words together. The most basic way is you invoke, you throw the thing, and where it lands is where the effect happens. In opposition to something else that would actually take a skill check outside of like the throw. Like casting or whatever, to be like, okay, I'm going to invoke this and I'm going to have it happen exactly over here. That's going to take an actual skill manipulation. It's not a thing like a regular person could do, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Kind of, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm thinking, so if a person just knows how to release the energy in something, right? So you can have like we'll go back to Sanguine because we finished that one, right? They want to do the burst of air thing, right?
Right.
Well, they don't want to necessarily do it where, like, in the vial they're holding, right?
Yeah.
And if we're talking about a person who isn't like specifically skilled in invocation, they just know how to release the energy. They don't necessarily know how to go, okay, I'm going to invoke this and like point over there and have it happen in this space.
Yeah.
They'd have to do it, throw it, and then whenever it breaks, it releases the energy, right? Whereas if you just wanted to be like, okay, I'm going to send this energy over here, that's going to take like a casting roll or something else that requires skill.
Yeah.
So if we go to like the most basic of basic, the effect happens where the actual dose is. You don't like will it somewhere else without having another check. Ran over a cape.
So
I'm asking. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think that makes sense. Just as a whole for the casting system to use that kind of thing where what's the word? Oh, God, I can't words either.
We'll get there.
Local effects, I guess, versus
Mhm.
targeted effects is what I'm trying to get at here.
Yeah.
But I want to use a word, whereas we're using because we're using shaping and manifestation and stuff like that, and casting, I guess, just in general, to change form and location of abilities. So as a base level, it's just where stuff happens, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I could not find the word I wanted for where stuff happens other than local, and that's not because local is just anything around you, really, but specifically physically local to where the dose is.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think that should be baseline method of deployment is where the humor is. Okay, and I ask that because I had the thought of what if here's what I'm imagining. I'll just explain what I'm seeing in my head, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
I'm imagining someone has a dose of melancholic, right? They throw it and invoke it, and it hits a wall, and for that brief moment, for that round or something, a localized area of gravity shifts so that wall is down.
Yeah.
Right? So stuff in that area, debris, people, whatever, suddenly flip over and slam into the wall as if it's the floor for a round of time, and then when it releases, everything goes back to normal. Obviously, whatever's the strongest source of gravity takes over again.
Yeah. I mean, sounds good to me.
Sweet. I think we go with the same basis of we give it 5 yards.
Yeah, that's what we did with the other ones. I was having a look to go check. Yeah.
Piece of melancholic creates a localized radius of altered gravity. And 5 yards. So, and I'll put it in here too. So I figure if you put it onto a surface that isn't in conjunction with where the flow of gravity is taking things, so a wall that's fucking upright, it shifts it, and that's it's the equivalent of the same gravity of the rest of the area. So it'd be it just shifts it down. If you put it on the ground where everything is already pulling towards, it just intensifies it. Oh, Ellie's asking, would the gravitational pull be equal to the planet's gravitational pull, or would the strength increase with experience? Well, we're talking about just the basic, so it's just going to be equal to the planet's pull. Because there's no, for just the basic stuff, there's not really any extra stuff you do to it without actually doing other rolls.
Yeah.
So it will be equivalent to that. So if you throw it onto a wall or another surface that isn't center of gravity, it'll just be equal to the planets. If you throw it onto the ground or something else that's already where gravity is pulling, then it'll intensify it. Should it double it, or should we say a 50% increase? Because neither of those is going to kill a person, right? It's just you're pulling some G's just walking through that space for about 10 seconds,
Yeah.
Not a lot of them either.
I think we could go ahead and double it. It basically is going to make that area count like difficult terrain, in the sense that it's double your actions to move through at that point.
Yeah.
So
basically just the weight of all your gear doubles.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it seems like it could make some interesting shit happen. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Used ground or whatever surface already. Gravity already pulls forward. The gravitational pull is doubled for 1 round. There. Sweet. There's our basic. That's fun.
Yep.
That's definitely a fun one.
Yeah, I like it.
Sweet. So, shaping, manipulation of form. What we did on Sanguine. No, I didn't have like all the other bits that we already had from other ones on this. That's okay. Sanguine, that was condense, disperse, purify, putrefy air. Oh, thanks, JB.
Thank you.
6 months subscribe. That's dope, man. Big appreciation.
Wow, it's weird to think that we've been an affiliate for 6 months at this point.
Oh yeah, that is weird. That is weird. Okay. Let me go. I need to go find the other sheet that had the other shit on it. Magic something. Magic system. Okay. Okay, our basics were move, shape, soften, or harden any mineral or fully mineral compound.
Alright.
That doesn't fit the gravity thing very much, but I think we keep it anyway. It's fun.
Yeah.
Film said we still need to do something for the 1-year celebration.
Yes, we do. We really got to figure out what that's going to be.
Yeah. Bon anniversaire.
Hot tub stream. What? No.
You got a hot tub? I mean,
Yeah, we don't have one of those.
I can
Or,
get in the tub and make it hot.
Yeah.
Right, hot bath water stream.
hot
Here we
bath
go.
water, yeah.
All fully clothed because TOS. In fact, we're wearing extra clothes. Winter clothes, hot tub stream.
Look, as long as we have
Sounds fucking
string
awful.
bikinis on, it's perfectly
gosh.
fine, apparently.
No, it's
anyway.
It's really not. They're cracking out in weird ways.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Move, shape, soften, harden. So
Hot tub time.
Shaping. I mean that's just shaping Earth, right? Like, manipulation of form. This will be to. Well, let me see. So we have shape, infuse, manifest, second. So maybe. So obviously shaping, it can be used to like, okay, I'm gonna change this boulder into a sculpture, right?
Right.
You won't be a good sculpture if you don't know how to do that, but
Yeah,
still be a
if
sculpture.
you're not a sculptor. That's a nice boulder.
Yeah. Or I'm gonna make this giant boulder perfectly smooth. You can do that.
Yeah.
And people will be like, who the fuck was practicing invoking out here? Why did they make a perfectly smooth boulder?
That would be weird.
But
I suppose weirder stuff.
Well, I mean, yeah, a perfectly smooth boulder would roll pretty goddamn well, though.
Yeah.
Pick up a lot of speed.
Would be
Could be
reduce
pretty nice.
reduce all that friction, man. Makes a difference.
So obviously you can do things like that. I feel like this could also be how you could do things like this is probably how you could do things like condense it or loosen it, so you could turn like stone into like mud or sand or whatever, right? Mud, obviously, if there's a lot of moisture or something, but I imagine that's shaping rolls would probably encompass most of that.
Yeah.
Because biomancy doesn't make any sense of it. Infusion doesn't really make much sense of it. Manifestation doesn't really make much sense. Psychomancy definitely doesn't, and casting also doesn't. So I think shaping would be that.
Yeah.
Assuming we want people to be able to do that with magic, I think it'd be good.
Yeah.
So we say, soften or harden stone. Sorry, any mineral or fully mineral compound, because that encompasses metal too. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Means we're probably gonna have to come up with some weird fantasy metal that it doesn't work on.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's that.
And tight.
No.
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 Not named after me. Named after panties.
It's also no.
You know how they have the crystalline structures? This one just crystallines into underwear looking.
Crystallized into underwear. Crystal underwear sounds like the worst thing to ever happen to
It's
some
the
poor
opposite of Oolong's wish in Dragon Ball Z. That is the most uncomfortable pair of underwear you've ever
Yo,
worn.
you know how rich I am, girl? Check out my crystal underwear.
Is that why you've been wincing all day? Yup. Suffering for success.
I was gonna get platinum.
Gotta show
underwear.
off how much money I've got. It's like, no one can see your underwear, dude.
All right, get up, get in the car. We're going to the hospital. Can they come here? I can't stand up.
I'm definitely not riding in the car.
Right. Fucking hell. More water. Okay. Brain is hydrated. How much? So yeah. What does increasing the amount of humors do? I imagine that would mean like you can manipulate more things, right? Or more material.
Uh-huh.
So what's the baseline? Because measuring it in distance, right, doesn't make as much sense. It feels like this should be measured in like weight, maybe, which is annoying.
Yeah.
Because it means at the table, people are going to be doing math of like, oh shit, okay, how much does this much stone actually weigh? Okay,
Right.
there's so much you can do. I mean, I don't know if we're going to be able to avoid that with how open we're making the magic, but
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, we could just go with space rather than, you know, actual weight or density or mass.
Yeah.
Yeah, we good. We could go. Sand is technically a solid, right? Because each grain is actually is not liquid, or
it
it's
is
a solid.
It is a solid composed of solids. Yeah.
So we wouldn't be able to categorize by that. So we could categorize it. Basically, I imagine you could affect more loose material than you can solid material. You can affect more sand than you can solid stone, and you can affect more solid stone than you can metal, I imagine, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we go, the amount of it is, Giselle says you could just offer a table for approximate weights in comparison, so they don't have to do the math as much. But we could. That would be the lowest impact way of doing that. However, it's still one of those things where you immediately have to go reference the book and like figure out this table and make a bunch of approximations, because we're not going to put everything on the table, right?
Yeah.
So it might still be good to have, because it's just a thing people like to know with these kind of things. But as a storyteller, narrator in our case, as a narrator, you're going to want to have to reference the book less. And if we say this is a person who's been running this for like 6 months, right? There's a lot of this stuff that they're going to have down by then. Like, it's a lot easier to know on the fly. Okay, you get 10 yards loose material, 5 yards of solid stone, and 1 yard of metal.
Right.
Like 10, 5, 1. Like, that's a lot easier to just like know and be like, oh, cool, I know how to make this call. Then, okay, stone weight or granite weighs this much per cubic. Like, that's a lot.
It is.
That's immediately, if it was me, even if they had as much experience as I have with like Pathfinder, I'm going to be referencing that pretty much every time it comes up, and I have to go look it up. Not that the table's bad, but yeah, I think we just go space for now, and if it becomes really stupid, if people are just like, yeah, they just earthbended the entire thing, and like it took like 6 doses of humor, and they did the whole opening campaign.
Yeah.
Like, what? Okay, we gotta fix that, but okay, so we go. I don't know. What do you think? Should we go per dose? Maybe we go 5-3-1, not 10-5-1.
Yeah, 5-3-1 sounds good. Again, these are just things we just need to, I think, just put down right now and then figure out later, like once we actually play. And as long as we feel kind of confident that we're sticking to the majority like levelness of the system, and then if we figure out, wow, this is really whack, then we change it.
No, agreed. I just want us to I want to put the best foot forward first, right?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so we go. Can affect 5 yards of loose mineral material, 3 yards of solid earthen material, 1 yard of metallic material. It's all earthen or crystalline, maybe. Earthen or crystalline.
Yeah.
Just in case people don't conflate those two. I do, but
yeah, it's better to be explicit than have people go, wow, man, I really wish I could do this with, whatever.
Or have to be like,
you can.
Does quartz count as earth?
Right.
Like, yes. Well, I don't know. It's crystal. Does glass count as earth? I mean, basically, I don't. What? What do you want to do? No, but can make 5 loose, 3 solid earth, 1 metallic. I think the only loophole that's coming to mind there is if, let's say, someone is talking about like a loose metallic material, you know, what does that categorize as? Does that categorize as loose mineral material, or does it count as metallic?
I mean, because loose metallic to me is like metal shavings kind of
Yes.
thing, right?
So if they wanted to like condense those all into an ingot,
yeah,
you know,
Shavings. Yeah.
with magic.
yeah.
Just like dust off of like filing, maybe.
Yeah.
But what constitutes a metal? Because there are certain things like in the periodic table that are classified as a metal but aren't technically.
Yeah, they are.
They're not. They are.
They
are technically. We just
technically a
think
metal.
of them as.
They don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they are technically metals. Yes.
Gosh.
Like I'm trying to remember. Sodium, I think, or not sodium.
Yeah. Sodium is an alkaline, right? It's metal.
Yep. There's a lot of those. Because we're not talking about periodic, like actually scientific categorized as metal, right?
Talking about like worked metal for the most part, I want to say. But obviously, you could have natural like ore deposits or whatever. But generally speaking, this is probably going to be used on worked metal. Most effects. If it's in ore state, it's going to be just earthen. Usually, like it's a solid piece of earth because it's usually in the ground, unless you've got a lump of like meteorite ore in your lap. Right. Which is the only time it's not also going to be covered in other things. Usually.
The Frankto says, by that logic, if you're doing that, then you're just assigning the 4 elements to the 4 states of matter. Kind of. We don't have all 4 states of matter represented.
Well, unless you counted fire as plasma, if you're going off of 4 basic elements, but
yeah, we also have 5 humors.
Yeah.
Granted, 1 is void, so it doesn't really take the place in there. That kind of is happening in a way. We're looking at melancholic as our solids, obviously phlegmatics as our liquids, sanguine as our gas, and choleric as plasma. Which is a fun way to think about it.
Yeah,
definitely something that should come up later, I'm sure, because
it
does otherwise fit seamlessly in those things. What I mean is that if silicates aren't earth, then does air only apply to the specific mixture of gases we breathe? Maybe. So those are definitely the kind of nitty-gritty type of questions that we're trying not to get lost in, which is why I'm just like, I don't know if we want to get in like what is technically a metal versus
right.
They are good questions to address in some way, though, right? Like at a certain point, obviously, it's just it comes down to narrator fiat. Hey, Scott, what's up? We're making a TTRPG, so there's going to be a lot of that lost face. Let's see, because we're trying to think of how our aka the 5e. I said unfortunately, didn't I? So, but the thing is, we don't want to get too bogged down in like we don't want our narrators to have a fucking degree in thermodynamics and be biochemists and have like a friend who fucking majored in physics in order to run a game. So next thing you have 7 strength jumping 3 feet in the air. Never. Fucking never. Not without magic, they're not. Not GURPS. Not GURPS. We're not trying to do GURPS. But we are trying to keep our magic fairly open-ended because it's based on the 4 humors. There's also a 5th humor in this universe. But we don't want to sit here and make a book of spells that have very specific you can do this, you can't do this. So we just want to define what the elements can accomplish using X doses of humors to determine their X doses of humors and skill of the caster as your limitations for what they can actually accomplish. That's what we're trying to build out. But obviously with that open-endedness comes some complexities. And right now, we're looking at how to define the shaping mechanic for Earth, essentially. And the question that I raised is because we were separating it between manipulating like loose mineral materials, solid earth and crystalline materials, and metal. With metal being the hardest to manipulate, but like let's say you had a bunch of lead shavings, well that is a loose mineral material, but it is also a metal that we all traditionally understand to be a metal. Yeah. Which of those categories does it fall into? Oh, dog's barking. Dark comedy, so appreciating comedy. Comedy. What's the fifth humor? Thanks, Scott. Congratulations, Diller. You're the first one to make that joke. Well done. You're so original. You're so original. Would be weed comedy. Like that. Nope. Okay, it didn't break. Cool. Just so I don't know what weed comedy is.
The movie How High. That's it.
So like stoner comedy.
Yeah.
Okay.
The movie How High. That's it. That's what I think of.
I'm throwing my hat into the ring.
Oh God.
Boomer humor, just like.
Oh yeah.
I don't know shit. That's not.
Yeah. I don't know. Half Baked is also. Yeah. It's just a funny movie.
It is a funny movie, but it is definitely.
It's not like all stoner humor. It's a little bit. It's a little bit outside definitely of that as well,
that category.
Which helps.
Any Cheech Chong
firmly entrenched in it, but or maybe I'm thinking. Yeah,
you're thinking of
as much as this is about humors, it's not about humor.
It's not about comedy. The comedy stylings of Dr. Zoidberg.
I haven't seen Half Baked in a while though. Used to come on all the fucking time on Comedy Central though.
It did. It came on a lot, man.
And then it just stopped.
Yeah.
But okay, so I don't know if I have an answer to the metal shavings thing other than oh shit. Scott got an ad.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, commercials suck. I can't figure out a good balance on them. I'm like strongly considering just seeing if they'll let me take them off, but I don't think they will. I think if I don't put them in there, it's just gonna roll commercials whenever Twitch wants to. So, yeah, I think it's the thing where they're like, where like you can go in and pick what intervals they show in. To disable the pre-roll. Oh yes, thank you, Scott.
Yes, thank you.
Big appreciation there.
Big ups.
For sure, absolutely appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, pun-based Japan.
Pun-based Japan.
Welcome.
Pan is like, who stole my username?
I know, that's what I'm trying to think of. Like,
did somebody steal my burner account?
Brandon, don't dox yourself, bro.
You're special to us.
Yes. Sure.
Wait, did you subscribe? Oh, maybe not.
If not, then you're not special. No. A bolt immediately went on that. Speaking of special, that is not special in the slides. I have to pee. It's 10:30. I'm gonna go pee.
It's
Oh,
10:30.
gosh.
Have you peed recently?
Oh, they broke. There we
Oh,
go. All right. Have a good night, Scott. Yeah, long work week. I feel you. Thanks again for showing up. Take it easy. Oh yeah. This Saturday. Hell yeah, dude. I'm ready.
I just realized I have to get off in like 10 minutes. That way I don't get mass positivity. Haha, haha. Oh.
Yeah, I guess we'll get Dave when he gets back.
Yeah. He's got a cute butt. Wait, does that count?
No.
Damn.
You've already told him.
That's true. I was telling. What was it? I was telling my nephew about. He said something about. Do you think it's weird to compliment guys like bodies or something? Like it's like, man, you got a nice smile or you got a good butt.
Whoa, excuse me.
Like not particularly, I don't think. Like it may come off a little strange. I mean, they're just like saying talking to a lady, you have a nice butt would be a weird thing to say to somebody you don't know. You
Right.
know? That's why you say in the comments to friends, you go, dude, that guy's butt's great. Like, what the hell? Yeah.
I have returned.
How come my butt don't look like that?
Welcome back, Dave. You got positivity, by the way.
Oh,
Mass
okay.
mass positivity.
Yes.
Mass positivity. Oh no.
So Panda was going to start.
Yeah, I said you had a nice butt,
There's-
but apparently that doesn't count.
I'll take it. No.
No,
Just gang up on me while I had to go to the bathroom. Jeez.
yeah. He says, Dave has such an amazing passion for history that is absolutely infectious. History or revolutions?
Hey, I like both of those things. There was that like 5-month period where you guys, if the word Rome came out of my mouth, everybody groaned collectively.
Yeah.
We just would not say the word Rome. Just don't say it.
When in central Italy, it
Yeah.
is central in Italians do. I almost said Italians.
Italians. Italians. They're my Italians. buddy.
Anyway, mass positivity about is trying to think of one I haven't said before because I think I said fun stuff.
Well, I can say something I appreciate.
Go for it.
So as you all know, we just moved. I am out of shape enough that I probably would have just been dead in the street somewhere trying to move all this shit. And we had help. Me and a friend and another friend, three people, myself included, I don't think moved as much as Dave did. He was just like, yeah, this is what I do for work. And we're like,
I am the friend you
Bro,
call when
I'm
you have
telling
to
you,
move.
it's
by the
crazy.
way. I am that friend ultimately because I will always move a bunch of your crap.
which was the other thing is you're that dude. Like, hey, I need help with this thingamajig, please. And yeah, Dave will show up as long as he doesn't have to like be out of the state at the same time. If he has to be out of the state like 3 hours after the whatever you need, he'll probably still show up to do it.
It's true. I do.
He's just a
you know,
very
that-
reliable dude.
I will say, for driving far from one place to another place to do a thing, I do find that because my schedule is like wild, thanks to paintball, that is the thing that just happens sometimes.
I think we told Patrick about this when we were moving, but we've been friends too long. This is much less a nice thing about Dave, but just a funny thing that happened about with me and Dave is we were listening to Nickelback, right?
Yeah, it was
And,
Nickelback. It
what was
in
the
moving
fucking-
truck? On
what was
way
the
to your
song?
mom's. I don't remember now. If it started playing,
You
we would-
remind me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
if
that
it
song
started
came on.
playing, we would do the bit.
Yeah, that song came on, and at the same time, Dave and I both went, no, 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 no.
It's not like we did it right at the beginning of the lyrics either. We waited for the very first line, and then we jumped in on the second line.
Yeah, we did the same dumb shit. No. God, I wish there was a job that was just ride around with Dave in a moving truck for like 3 hours a day. Or like for a certain period of time. Because God, that would be the best job.
Yes.
Don't arrest me for saying this, but when Panda and I were driving around the movie truck, I was like, why can't we just I don't know, smuggle drugs in one of these things and get paid?
Yeah.
I was just trying to think of things that paid well and involved moving trucks. Drugs is the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah.
Oh, look, the DEA has entered the chat. What
In Minecraft. We're smuggling drugs in Minecraft.
Yeah.
That works, right? As long as you say in Minecraft, it makes it not illegal.
They have drugs in Minecraft?
Hard.
I mean, there's mods.
Where are you going?
Dude, I don't think I've ever actually played Minecraft, so it shows what I know.
That boy just fucked right off.
He was waiting when I came out of the bathroom. I walked out of the bathroom, and there was just dog nose pointed directly at me. I was like, "Hey, buddy, how you doing?"
I think he can hear you from the garage. Is why he's walking off.
He's like, "Where's he? Where is he?"
New house. I gotta learn. Is he violating kitchen rules, or has he learned new kitchen?
Well, he has to.
He has to because the back door is on the other side of the kitchen, and he was afraid of it.
But yeah, he doesn't like going in the kitchen still. So earlier today, I was cooking or doing something, and he was posted at the back door. I was like, "Oh, you must really gotta go because you don't come in the kitchen unless you gotta go." So I let him out, and he did the thing where he ran around in circles before he decided to go to the bathroom. You know, where he was like, "Can't find a place, there, right here." It's like that's where you started, man.
He's still getting used to the backyard, so he'll be out there for 40 minutes, and I'm
trying to figure out where to go.
Dude, you need to go to the bathroom, or I gotta go back inside.
This further encapsulates the similarities between children and dogs, which is when my daughter has to go to the bathroom and she's trying to do 3 other things. I'm like, no, you said go to the bathroom. Go right now. We're not doing 4 other things before we go.
Immediately.
It's just like.
Oh, Molly didn't hear your positivity, Panda.
Oh, well, too bad.
Peter, real quick. I'm gonna grab
No, you don't get double positivity. I only get to say it once.
He said I have a nice butt. Anyway.
Yes, Dave. Damn him and his cat-like reflexes when playing Cat's Paw. Is that that game was?
That game, yeah.
It's a game where you flip over a tile and then you have to
roll dice, and you're grabbing the little dominoes that are the same symbols as the dice coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, you got mass positivity now. But yeah, no, I was gonna say I didn't even. He left the chat. When we were playing that, I don't think I lost.
No, because it's rolls
a single hand.
Snap, just immediately.
Yeah, I didn't lose a single hand. Oh man, see, I'm gonna have the same problem that Panda has, which is I don't want to say the same thing I've said before.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to increase the freaking cooldown on that.
Right. I will say though that to piggyback off what you said earlier, the being friends for so long that we're in the car doing the same dumb stuff is a lot of fun. And if there was a job that would sit around and do this, I mean that is what we're doing right now. But I mean if there was a reasonable amount of pay we get to sit around and just be goobers in the same area, I would 100% do that all day because I love hanging out with you guys. That said, I think I've already talked about how creative you are, but I'm gonna go one step beyond that. Panda is the most deviously creative person I've ever met. And
I immediately knew where you were going with it.
He will come up with the most ridiculous traps or whatever, and just especially in games, I will always remember when you added the random falling thing in Tiny Robo and didn't tell anybody that you added it, and so it's running through the middle of that, we stopped and it just falls and kills me. I was like, what happened? And you're like,
yeah, explosive things fall from the sky in places.
Fall from the sky. But yeah, you do that kind of stuff all the time. It makes everything more fun. It really does. Or playing Call of Duty with you.
Tiny Robos.
When you would just sit around. God. We were doing I think it was like a 4-person free for all, basically.
Yeah.
And so what you would do is you would just wait while like Crispy and I would shoot at each other, and then you just wait and you're like, wait till we like come around a corner, just get the guy who won.
Yeah.
It's just like every time was the funniest stuff. And you're really good at that, and it is a very fun thing to be around. It's a great energy and something that is exclusively you. And anybody who's played games with Pando or spent a lot of time with him or done whatever knows what I'm talking about because they've experienced this.
I want to throw in. Sorry, I have a story about
something gun and battle operation 2.
Yeah.
That's special. The sale. That is.
Speaking of deviousness in Baldur's Gate, you can push people as an action. And multiple friends, Rob or JB, have stood too close to a ledge. And I'm just like...
It doesn't cost that much to revive you.
But yes, sorry.
Yeah.
I think my favorite random, just odd Panda thing, surprisingly, wasn't Call of Duty, even though I hate that fucking game. It was just the one man jumping who fucking left off a roof. It just starts pummeling this dude who had no fucking clue who's there.
Oh my god.
It just pops up out of nowhere. And the guy finally dies. It took like 8 punches.
No clue.
We're playing Warzone, and we drop in, and you have no gun to start off with.
Or was,
I leap off a building and see a guy just...
Yeah, you didn't have to do it.
No.
It was
I could have done the other thing I do. Just wait.
Watching you sneak up, kill people in games, whether it be Battlefield or whether it be like Call of Duty, is always one of my favorite things because you always do something ridiculous beforehand or whatever. It's just great.
Yeah.
It's so funny. The like
Panda's just a super fun dude to be around.
360 no knife.
Find some way to make things entertaining.
Yeah.
Pretty tough to be bored.
Yeah, it is almost impossible hanging out with Panda to be bored.
I mean, shit, we were supposed to be packing whatever fucking day that was. Wednesday?
Oh, shit, yeah.
And we were up till God knows when.
We were just all sitting around talking instead of doing the stuff we were supposed to do.
Random bullshit, and then talking about, like...
And it was like 6 a.m. all of a sudden.
I don't even know if I want to say that on stream what we ended up talking about.
Oh,
but
God.
Yeah, we were up till like fucking 4 or 5 a.m. So JB says, why
like,
do you think I always want to watch when he plays things?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
That's JB likes to watch.
Ellie would absolutely watch a Panda gaming stream. Yeah.
Me too.
I have to do that.
Yeah.
Gotta get PS5's price dropped, y'all. They're cheaper now. And
they are cheaper.
They're not.
I'm just glad I got one when I did. I'll just say
it's true.
that.
Yeah.
Because I could not afford it now.
True story.
Sometimes being stupid with your money pays off.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that, children. Tell that to your kids.
That's
great
certainly
life lesson.
A way to go on that lesson. Night, so.
Good night.
So, see you tomorrow. So yeah, speaking of which, we should probably make some more progress here.
Yeah, we should do the thing we came here to do.
Now that we've positivity Panda before someone else gets hit with it.
We've already done all 3 of us tonight.
They'll start targeting people in the chat. We know them.
That's true. That's why Molly left when she did.
Right.
She knows what's up.
Yeah, we'll get her when she gets back. All right. Good luck. Fun. Have fun. See you Friday. JB. I think. Right?
Yeah,
see him this Friday?
We're playing Friday. I don't know if he is.
Yeah, I think he's
we'll probably see him
to go
briefly.
somewhere.
Yeah. He'll probably pop in. That'll be fun. Yep, Ellie was gonna. Yeah. Well, you just get her next time.
Yeah.
She'll be on stream next Tuesday, so she can't run.
Yeah, she can't run. Can't hide. Nowhere to be. Nowhere to go.
So what do we do about these metal shavings? Do you think
man,
while they're loose, it's probably fine to count them as loose.
Yeah, that's.
Material?
I think yes.
Right?
I think that's what I'm gonna go with.
Yeah, I think it's fine. We'll just leave it as is then. And if it's broken, then
Yep.
yeah, we'll find out later.
Yeah, exactly. I'm firmly in the camp of we'll figure it out in testing, which is the most obnoxious thing to say repeatedly, but it is really one of those things where I'm like, It's not like we're talking about loose stuff like shading stuff, which is different, I think, than if we were talking about like, I don't know, like a bunch of ball bearings and counting that as loose mineral stuff. I think that's so it's a little different in that case. But yeah.
So it's technically fiat there, but like
Yeah.
Once we actually make a book, we'll have to make some. We'll put in some examples. I don't want to put them here; they don't matter here.
No.
But
and this comes down to determining and exploring what we need to make sure we address in our technical writing.
Yeah, we'll have to like throw in some examples of what each thing is, or what would be an example of each thing, and then like a few edge cases, just so people are like, okay, this is the kind of stuff to look out for. Anyway, cool. So that's good, and then we know. So that each dose would just affect the range of things you can shape, or the size. I guess the size of things you can shape.
Yeah, size.
Yeah. Or we'll just say per dose. Yeah, I say dose, but
Just
oh god, talking about the cursed spellings. Cool. Shaping's done for melancholic. Biomancy. Biomancy in sanguine was to alter the blood, toxicity levels, rate of flow, and air intake, which effectively boiled down to manipulating the condition tracker, essentially.
Yeah.
It's not permanent, it's just like literally a penalty or a boon to it.
Mm-hmm.
And for 3 rounds for per 1 step for 3 rounds as its baseline. Obviously, we're not going to do that for melancholic. It's not manipulating blood flow. It is whatever the fuck it's doing.
We do
this would be doing shit like stone skin and that kind of shit, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking as well. Ways to like reduce damage or
increase weight, like density.
Yeah.
That kind of things are harder to move or you sink, because that can be beneficial in some cases.
Oh yeah. Especially if you're in the water and a bunch of people are trying to shoot you with things. If you just sink to the bottom, then those projectiles are going to hit the water and break up, and then you can release that and float back up when you're not being shot at anymore.
So we go. Okay, so let's just like some effect per dose. Can't remember what was our. We do anything. We fucked with equipment a little bit so far, but not much.
No, not much. I was looking. Speaking of that, I was trying to look at like that exactly as well, because I was trying to think of like how we can add to, our defensive capabilities essentially.
Yeah, because obviously we're gonna have like armor and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. So table magic, more world intro races.
We really don't have anything in armor, because I'm in the weapons and armor V2 right now.
Oh, this is old. That's right.
Yeah, I was also in the other weapons and armor looking through that, and there's just not anything
complicated.
about armor. Well, yeah, there's just not really anything about armor. We went over weapons a lot. We didn't go over a lot about armor, so.
Oh, Raz for the Mako reactor saw. Sorry, it's the only thing I can think about when this comes out. I'm like, oh, Yeah.
Right.
So good.
Yeah, I guess we can answer that question now. Do we want armor? Do we want to go like armor class, or do we want to go DR or soak or whatever? Right? Does armor pad you against damage, or does it make you harder to hit?
Yeah, I want to say we had decided on DR/soak at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It sounds familiar.
I think that's what we went with, and that's why I was thinking we do that, and then we basically just allow this to add like a class of, I guess, natural armor for however many rounds, like an extra, basically get like an extra point of DR, let's say, from like your being skin hardening or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or
we could go like 10 hit points.
Yeah. It's kind of the same thing in this case. I want to say not exactly, but yes.
Yeah. Well, because 10 hit points deplete versus having a duration.
But yeah, you would have the duration of however many rounds for your DR versus having 10 hit points, which would be until whenever.
Or until depleted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But damage mitigation is my point. I'm getting at here
is
we're looking at some kind of damage mitigation.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we're talking about armor specifically. I'm going back to the humors. Yeah, so armor, should be mitigation rather than AC.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Or shit, I guess. Let's look at the others and see. Like, if we do one here, we don't want to give it both, because I thought about like maybe you get the choice of whether you get it as temp HP essentially or as additional mitigation. But we probably don't want to give it both because something else can use one of the other.
The other one? Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
So, like I guess the only other, like, fire doesn't really make sense for, like, mitigation or whatever, or temp HP. Water does, though.
Yeah. Water makes more sense, I want to say, for temp HP than for damage mitigation, whereas earth makes more sense for damage mitigation to me.
Maybe. But water makes more sense for absorbing blows effectively, because, for example, hitting a stone, you're acting against its hardness, but over time breaks down. Versus water, you're hitting it; it's just the transfer of energy. You can't hurt it by hitting it.
But when we're working with sharp and pointy objects and piercing objects, those react differently to water than they do stone. In that, like, a bludgeon. Well, yes, I agree. If we're using sharp things, you cut straight through water. You have resistance opposite your arm; it's harder to cut, but you go through. Whereas you bounce off of something that's hard. And so I just feel like, too, with how we've also doing water, where we're conversion from physical to energy, manipulation of form, I feel like that's more of a health thing in my mind with the other parts of it. Like the way water works, I guess, the way we're going to use those things and the way we've talked about. But how about this? Let's just put either or on this one right now, and then when we get to water, since we now know water is the other one we're going to do with this, we'll then have this discussion at water, because then we'll flesh out this one all the way and we'll flesh out water all the way, and we can see which one lines up more thematically with more information.
Yeah. Okay. So temp HP / mitigation. Yeah, obviously come back to this.
Yeah. Because that way too, we get to have both of these more fleshed out in full, and we're not just kind of gonna sit here and do an arbitrary debate on the concepts of water v earth. We're gonna do it based off of the concepts of the phlegmatic versus the melancholic, in system, and that'll make more sense. And I think then it's far more likely at that point we'll both just be on the same side, and we won't have to have a debate, because then we'll flesh it out enough that we'll both just be like, oh yeah, this is obviously this now. Yeah,
it might just fall into place. Okay, that works. So we'll come back to that one. So that moves us down to infusion, which is the saturation of energy into an object. So in in Sanguine, that was basically charging conductive material with electricity. or sapping it of that, because they should each go both ways. Ew. I like how that got Panda's attention.
Ew, yeah, it did. But
What, the ew?
no, they go both ways.
Ew.
Oh, okay.
And
Sorry,
then
I
ew
was
at the end
meaning.
of that. I know you were. That's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
For
For everybody at home, it was Yu-Gi-Oh would have been a lot shorter if there was just fist fights, because
Yes.
Joey Wheeler is jacked and he would just throw Merrick off the blimp.
Joey Wheeler v. Bandit Keith Battle Royale. Let's go.
Yeah, Bandit Keith.
Doesn't Joe get beat up a lot in the show?
Yeah.
Probably.
Like,
I mean, let's be honest. Yugi has
It would make Tristan a more pivotal character. That's what I'm saying.
That's true.
Joey, yeah, like
Tristan would have been more
once they
important,
start
and in a
losing
few
every duel,
moments
they
the
just
sun
start
will
beating people up
rise.
again.
yeah.
Just go mug people for their cards. It's fine.
Just turn Yu-Gi-Oh in the later seasons just becomes a mix of a children's card game and WWE. Someone's losing
In this
fucking
corner,
duel.
the Pharaoh.
Joey just comes out of nowhere with a fucking chair. Blasts him
Tristan's
out
off
of
the
the
top
fucking
rope.
pulpit.
Anyways, yeah. Somebody theme song, Bandit Keith's theme song plays, which is some America related whatever. It's like, I recognize that.
It's fucking
Bandit Keith
Hulk
goes right
Hogan's
in.
original entrance music.
Oh
Fucking,
yes. Yes.
What was it? Real American.
Yeah, real American. Yeah. I recognize that. Oh my god. And then at that point, Bandit Keith has to just talk like Hulk Hogan the whole time.
God.
Oh, which reminds me, the cream of the crop bit, Teen Titans Go did a thing with wrestling, and Beast Boy did the cream of the crop bit like 85 times in that episode, and it made me almost beat my pants. I was laughing so hard. Even with the bad, like, weird sleight of hand stuff, he was doing that too. It was so funny. I was just like dying. But okay, so we're gonna make things harder or softer with this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
What does that do for them? Does it make them more like difficult to break? I guess I shouldn't think of this just in terms of weapons, right, or armor.
See, that I was
This
about to
would
say. So
be-
one of those things is if you increase the hardness to a certain point, it might make things more brittle and then easier to break depending on
Yes.
the object. Because if it's like a wall and you increase the hardness, then it's going to be harder to break said wall. But if you took, I don't know, like, I don't have anything here, but anything that was like flat and thin and you increase the hardness, that thing's just going to shatter when you slap it on something. Because it's so hard, it's so rigid, it has absolutely no flex. So You're just going to shatter it.
Yeah,
but yeah.
it's good for absorbing damage. Or energy. But
yeah.
So yeah, it could. I mean, yeah, I think we just give it a quantifiable increase or decrease in hardness and leave it and let people make their own conclusions.
It's good because that's one of the things I was like. If you increase the hardness of, lead or whatever, you're now got an incredibly heavy and an incredibly hard metal instead of it usually being like mainly pliable. I want to say like lead is a soft metal. If you increase it to where it's no longer a soft metal, and it's like, dang, I don't know what we're doing with this. We're not shaping it into anything, but it's a brick and it's not going anywhere. I just got an ad for the Netflix One Piece. We were just talking about that. That's the ad that popped up on Twitch. Was the Netflix One Piece. Anyways, but also just making like steel mushy.
Also, is this a permanent effect or does it have a limited duration?
That's a good question. I would say limited duration, but unless you're willing to pour more power into it.
Yeah. Say we'll have to, there's a few things we have to go back over because there's some precedents that get set as we make these that may apply to previous stuff.
Yes.
But we could give turning the effect permanent like a flat cost.
Mm-hmm.
and then it is increased, and then, or we give it like a, just this is an example. This isn't what I'm going to write down, but you could say it's like, to make the effect permanent is like 5 doses of the humor plus however many were spent for the effect, right? So if you did like, if you used like 3 doses to just like make something really dense and really hard, then it's going to cost 8 more to make that permanent. Just for that piece of it. If you want to do any other things, it's just going to make that go up and up and up. Just because permanent effects should be more costly, right? Yeah.
It's not like the spell permanency where you just get to walk around willy-nilly making stuff permanent. Anyways,
right.
I mean
that has cost too, a gold cost, which is
does
eventually
have a gold cost.
negligible.
It does.
But
yeah. It's also not a low level spell. Like it's not like permanency is like a level
5th.
Yeah, it's not. I was about to say it's not like it's a level 3 spell or something. I think it is 5th level. I think it's
5th or 7th. It's not 6th. And if it is, then I'm gonna feel stupid. But
I'm gonna check. I was gonna say I looked this up recently for I looked this up recently for D&D, but I have not looked up for Pathfinder. So I'm looking up for Pathfinder.
And
it is 5.
Specific list. It is 5. Yeah, and it's also a specific list of things you can make permanent. It's not everything.
Yep. And the gold cost is obviously adjusted based off of the spell you're attempting to make permanent. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. And spells that can be made permanent. I'm pretty sure at this point all of them say they can be made permanent in their description.
In the spell description, yes.
Like prismatic wall and shit like that.
And polymorph, whatever.
Yeah. I'm so mad 5e doesn't have baleful polymorph, but they basically got rid of permanent duration spells, so I get it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I love baleful polymorph.
It's so good. Like, you can't turn someone into a newt and then they're just cursed to be a newt until you can't do that anymore.
No, it's fun.
What the? Anyway,
now ask your DM if you can add it back, because if it's funny, then they'll let you sometimes.
Yeah. Or thematic.
Yes. The end of the Friday campaign, we're gonna make somebody into a apostle.
Cough, somebody, Arden, cough.
And let him live with it forever. No.
Throw him at that elf kid who's always got pineapples in his pocket.
Yeah, he'll take care of them.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so hardness, blah blah. We come with the duration. Okay, so yeah, limited duration by default. But yeah, do we just say increases the hardness by this much, and density by this much, or decrease by same, and just let people run with it, and then worry about like providing guidelines later?
Yes. Well, for 2 reasons.
That's fair.
One, because I really don't know. I know what I plan on doing with this or whatever. If you just handed this build to me that could do this, I know what I would do, given the couple situations that have come up in my head. But that doesn't mean anything against testing of multiple people and situations I definitely am not thinking of.
Yeah, that's the same. It's just like I can think of. So we just need to figure out what. Yeah, let's make the box that it lives in. So we go. We don't even know what hardness means right now, so we're just gonna go with like 5.
Yeah.
Say 5 per dose. That's probably a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. So, you know what we could do though? Hold on. Let's look at. I just want to say we're looking at our. Where is it? No, that's not what I'm trying to find. So our weapons and armor, we had the qualities.
Yeah.
Right. We could kind of base it off this similar thing in that like we have shoddy, poor, average, good, masterwork. So instead of just increasing, say, hardness or softness, we could also just say, like, increase, if we wanted to work in game. I know we just said it's hardness or softness, but we increase quality of the item as long as it is metal or stone or, crystalline. So since that way we're affecting specifically things that are targeted by this style of humor, and we're then increasing or decreasing quality, so that gives it more of a inline thing. It limits creativity a little bit, but it also makes it
Yeah.
way easier on the narrator.
It does make it easier. There's part of me I just don't like it. I think I know what it is, right?
Mhm.
I think because quality is more meant to represent workmanship,
Yeah.
and we don't want to build that just into a simple humor cast, right?
Sure. Yeah, but again, if this is a
It
thing that
would
we're
make it a
doing
lot
where
easier. I mean, you're not wrong.
yeah, but this is also a thing that's a temporary effect. It's
Mhm.
only gonna work on like, metals and earthen style things. So it can't do things to like woodenware.
Well, you
It's
wouldn't
not
do
gonna
anything
work
with
on
wood.
like polymer. It's only gonna work on like silver, iron. If we're doing like weapons, but silver,
Mhm.
iron, steel, right? Those things. But then also like crystalline structures. If there's a door that's metal, if there's heck, you could even do it to like weaken part of the ground if you're really like
Mhm.
you want to dig through the ground easier or whatever.
Yeah. I don't want to have to assign quality qualifiers to the rest of the environment as well,
Yeah.
right? Obviously, we could just say things are average at a default, but like that still ends up in a weird place.
It does.
Whereas we could just always define like solid ground as hardness 8 or something, right? Solid stone is like 10, whatever.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna come up. That's
I guess.
I think the
but
reason
making
that's
the
where
whole
my
hardness
mind
thing
goes
is also something I was just going to avoid, to be honest. For
I don't think
everything
we
having
can,
hardness.
but that's things I don't think we can because we're directly interacting with it. I don't think we can avoid it. So if it's work we're already going to have to do,
Yeah.
at least in my mind, we will, right? Like at least
in my mind, we won't, but that's doesn't matter. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, obviously, because we're not at that
Well,
point.
it does
So
matter. It
No,
does matter.
because
It's just I don't.
we
'cause
just
I don't
say
know how we
hardness right
avoid it.
now. Well, that's why I'm saying when we work about what we have to do with hardness, we'll come with that. So we just say we affect hardness right now. This is just putting this idea out here. If we don't end up
Yeah.
creating a hardness scale, we don't want to mess with hardness, we just go with quality. Right now, since we're going to just assume we're making a hardness scale at some point, we'll put this on the hardness scale.
Yeah. Because also that the weapons and armor thing is still the old one. As you can see, it's way too complicated.
Yeah, it probably also needs to be configured. That's what I'm saying. This is just because we don't have these other parts of this put in place. We just come up with the thing that it affects right now. If that changes, that's fine. We come back and adjust this because what we really want is we just want to know conceptually what this does. And we want to have this conceptually noted, and then we change it to mechanics as those mechanics change.
Yeah. So yeah, we know because it's supposed to be able to harden, soften, that kind of thing. So that's easy. We just say hardness. We also put maybe densities nebulous.
No, good night, Ellie. I just saw that Ellie's one bit.
Oh yeah, I think she's already done. We're not gonna put a density rating there, right?
No, I'm not messing
Hardness,
with it.
sure. I feel that's hard to avoid. Density is dumb. That's just figured out. Does this sink or float? So we can leave that out. We'll let that people figure that one out. So we can go plus or minus hardness. It can go to infusion. I don't think there's anything really to do with gravity in this case. Infusing something like can't infuse a thing with gravity, right?
No, but you can't infuse it with mass.
It's true.
Talking about density that we were just talking about not doing. You make something more dense, it is then more gravitationally affected. You make
True.
something less dense, it is then less gravitationally affected.
We could have it. Ooh, God, no, that's messy. I was gonna say we could have it where you can turn like an object into a center for gravity, right? But the simple thing already does that. I don't think we need to build that into infusion.
Yeah.
But it's just it's been it'll last around. No big deal. Cool. Hey, OCD Gaming, welcome again. Good to see you. Working on making a TTRPG right now. Talking about infusion of the melancholic humor, which is representative of the earth element and how it can be used in game.
Trying to avoid too much science.
Trying to avoid too much science. So right now it can increase or decrease the hardness of an object, which has a lot of fun, interesting uses, I think, especially if we don't just think in the realm of weapons and armor, right? There's like a lot of fun shit you can do with that. So maybe we just leave it at that. Maybe just the hardness for now.
Yep, it's fine. I'm fine with that.
Move on to the next thing. I feel like that's got a pretty wide berth of effects, pretty open scale of effects. Sweet. So manifestation, calling of energies from elsewhere. So this would be the thing where you're like creating Earth.
Yep.
Pulling it up out of the humor.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Which, yeah, do we still have that limited duration? Does it just go away after a certain amount of time? Or do we worry about that when we figure out how to make things permanent and just say everything's temporary unless we say it isn't?
Yeah, I feel like we could do that. We could also just do the, like, that it's only, so if we're creating, let's say, so like summon air was we get a 5-yard radius and we fill it up with air for 3 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
And then air dissipates. So this would be like you create Earth in a spot. After however many rounds, it is now like, it's not holding a shape, so it's just, and it's just flat then. Because it's just ground.
Yeah. So like if you don't like
if you don't then
turn it into a boulder or whatever, right?
Try and shape it. Yeah, if you don't then try and shape it, it just kind of goes blue. Because you just made Earth show up. You didn't.
Yeah. So inherently you're summoning loose.
You're basically like dropping rocks on
material.
people's head or whatever. Yeah. Or ground. It could be rocks, ground, whatever. But that's what you're doing. It then is just a rock that is there. It's not like it's occupying full space unless you're, making a huge boulder. And in which case, let's say if we're summoning a large boulder, that after X amount of rounds, it just breaks apart into loose material. It ceases being stone and becomes just dirt.
Yeah.
That way you don't just have a boulder that is in like focal point of whatever you're doing for as long as you want. That way you can't Indiana Jones people.
Like popping boulders up out of nowhere.
Yeah, you can't just Indiana Jones people around the whole time. Or do that thing where you just make like a minefield of boulders around. You need a Pokemon with strength to come shove everything out of the way.
Right.
To get to.
Then again, the reminder here that I keep forgetting, that I have to keep reminding myself, is that people are still spending resources on this. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I don't think you should be able to make a big ass boulder out of one dose, right? No.
But even if it's like, let's say it's a rock that's like about the size of my torso,
mm-hmm.
It's still a hefty object that is important and affects the terrain of the battlefield. But if after 3 rounds it just becomes pebbles, it is significantly less important to the terrain of the battlefield.
Yeah. And because we're working in yards, if we're dealing with like a cubic yard of Earth, that is significant. That is a not space. Insignificant amount. So what are you imagining? Because I guess I'm maybe getting a little confused. Is this pulling literally a solid rock out of nowhere, or is it just like mixed gravel and dirt and sand and just all like pops into existence?
I feel like that's what we have to determine. That's kind of what I'm saying. Is either we make a bundle of stuff that is held together, and after say 3 rounds it becomes its constituent parts, or it is a rock that after 3 rounds just breaks apart into a, like how we're having with when we're dealing with shaping, where we turn loose mineral into solid. It goes from solid to loose. It basically does its own version. Sorry, that's fine. Anyways, does its own version of going back to loose, whereas so it's either one of those, because that way we don't just have rocks hanging around, because I feel like air is one of those things that air is nebulous enough When you're like, oh, I summon air after 3 rounds, it's just it is, you know, equalized its pressure.
Dispersed.
It's no longer surrounding you. But because a rock is a solid, it can't just disperse. It's still just a rock.
Is sulfur.
Yeah, exactly. It can't just disappear either, because then you're like, well, this rock showed up and now it's gone. That's real weird.
Right.
I mean, so if you just make the rock and then it turns into gravel, that's fine. Or if you have basically a bunch of pebbles all shoved together and they are shaped like a big rock and they function as a big rock for 3 rounds and then they just become pebbles.
Yeah, I think I know. So I like the thought of it being, so if you just are doing manifestation, it is just a consolidation of different kinds of earth, right? It's dirt, sand, some gravel, a few rocks and stuff. It just springs up out of we have to figure out like how that converts in dosage. This might be a thing you can't just do with one dose, right? You might have things like that, just because breaking it down smaller than a yard doesn't work for our measurements anyway. But so sorry, let me get back on track. Without a shaping roll, you just get random earth chunk that has bits and pieces of things, probably still pretty weighty. You could probably still throw it at someone or drop it on their head or whatever, and it'll hurt a lot. Then, like I said, after about 3 rounds or so, it breaks apart. It's whatever's like magic energy is holding it together, gravity, whatever, is expended, so it is just loose earth now. But then, of course, we have things like if people do want to go, okay, I want to summon an actual solid boulder or whatever, then, okay, cool, you do your manifestation, and you're going to do shaping to make sure that it actually is in the form you want.
Right.
You can't just pull a rock out of the ether. That's just not how the energy works. You have to shape it into that. Cool. Anyway, but yeah, I think that works. It's just how much earth as a baseline are we okay with people pulling? Right?
I say we just start with the yard and then go from there. Because if it's too much, we either up the dosage or we find a way to break these down and we use a different thing for this specific style of manifestation, right? Because if manifesting becomes where we can't go off the same system of just space, then we have to change how we function for manifesting, and that's fine. Then we have to come up with some style of volume-based idea, and that's okay. We just don't know that until we at least try it with the system we're using now.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, we do have to break it down into a foot or 2 feet or whatever the hell. It's literally just oh my gosh. One of the constituent parts of a fucking yard.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll put that now. A yard of... we'll say... just 1 yard of earth and material. We'll say... Ooh, can you pull metal? Can you manifest metal?
I feel like we're trying to stick with earth here, but I mean, I think if we're doing metal, it's got to be more doses than.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
So
it's going to cost triple.
Yeah,
right?
Or we've got to combine again. That's like where we're trying to make a solid rock. If you're trying to do that, you're combining shaping and manifestation together because you're shaping what would have been loose stuff that you're summoning into a solid piece of metal.
Yeah. Yeah, we could just say that. Yeah, we could just triple the cost if you do metal, and then at the end of your 3 rounds, it turns into slag or something.
Yeah,
this is the worst shit ever.
Just worthless chunks of garbage metal.
I mean, I don't know. At triple cost, I'm like a little more okay with it. Okay, cool. You have a lump of basically just completely impure metal alloy. Like, enjoy? Like, it's gonna take a lot of work to like pull all that apart and like get any kind of value out of it. So it's not like you're just an engine for like ruining the economy, you know? I can just turn humor into money. Well, not really. The labor that goes into like turning that into the different pure
This
metal
gets
you
into
were
the
wanting
like
is not going to be
searching
good.
for a Philosopher's Stone style adventure, so that
Yeah.
somebody can do that, or they're like, if I can use this, I can augment my power to where I can basically make this. I can basically manifest gold, like precious metals, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. Good luck.
Yeah, shit. We could
Then it
fucking
turns
come
out
up
that the
with.
Philosopher's Stone is like eating your humors as you do this, and you don't even realize it, and whatever. Because the Philosopher's Stone always,
it's offline. This is a campaign idea.
the Philosopher's Stone always has a drawback. Anyways, but yeah, I think
this is a
cool.
campaign idea. So we could actually even come up with like our own, just whatever fucking alloy, mutt metal or something. That's just like, dude, this is just all kinds of random shit. It is not worth. You're not going to be able to sell the stuff you just manifested unless you did a lot of work to purify it.
Right.
Which is going to cost probably more in humors than it's worth. So, but either way, so what do you think? Triple cost to make? I'm going to call it mutt metal because I just said that and I like it.
Yeah, that sounds good to me, especially for a placeholder name. It's great.
Okay, when you're out of earth, the material generated for 3 rounds breaks into constituent. I'll spell that right. Parts and small stones, earth, dirt, sand, etc. Cool. Triple cost to manifest metal.
Metal.
Sweet. People can just fucking. That's kind of dope, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, have like a ball of fucking metal.
Good old metal.
It's 3 doses for that. For 3 rounds. Does it actually? Do they get to keep that, or should we actually have it melt at the end?
I feel like having it just melt into whatever is fine. Because we don't want permanent anything. Because eventually somebody's just gonna start throwing hunks of mutt metal at people's heads if you give it permanence. They're just gonna be like, yeah, it took me specialties, so now I'm just like I can throw anything as my weapon attack, and I have all these balls of shit metal that I got left over. I'm just gonna start chucking them in people's heads.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I got a plan. We just need 9 doses of humor and some sturdy sticks.
Panda just invents claymores.
You finally break into the trapster's house. You open the door, and immediately a trapdoor opens above you, and 500 pounds of metal falls on you.
It's claymores. They're not ball bearings, though. It is literally just hunks of metal being flung out of
just
the thing.
Misshapen hunks of slag that just blast into you.
Yeah.
I mean, someone's going to do it, right?
Yeah.
He's sitting right here.
Yeah, I'm the reason rules exist.
Yeah, that is true, my friend.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll have it just turn into broken pieces of slag. Because we'll figure out the what our standard for permanent effects is later, and that way everything stays consistent so far. Cool. Psychomancy, manipulation of mental energies, fun. We got
we're
melancholic, which means I mean melancholy, you know.
Yeah.
It's
do we want this one to be where you can like, obviously it's like negative mood affecting, because I know we did where you relax people with sanguine. So is this one where you just make people like sad, basically?
Right? Like pretty much. Oh, there's notes down here. Sand, soil. Where is create sense of create sense of ennui, sadness, or depression / stoicism, steadfastness, and resolution.
Okay.
Creating a sense of ennui. No, thank you. Fuck that.
I don't need magic to create that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make you feel super bored but not able to do anything because nothing seems like it has any meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I have ADHD. I don't need magic to have that happen.
I don't either, but you know what else? I don't want magic to do that. In this game. It's really fitting.
Oh my god.
Can you fucking imagine, dude? Oh no. Oh yeah, I'm having a great day. Oh look, some adventurers strolled in. Oh, they're not willing to pay market price for this. Well, that's kind of shitty of them. Well, I guess I'll just let them buy my whole inventory, because fuck it, who cares? No one's gonna come to this store anyway. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. No, that is rough.
I'm just tired of dealing with them. But it's fitting. It very much fits the energy of this game.
Yeah.
So I think it was what number of targets was the...
Yeah, I believe that is what we did for it. Let me look at Sanguine. More dice was increased duration and difficulty of resistance. Yeah.
Man, talk about a part of the last session I should have actually paid attention to.
Dude, I went to rewatch our last session, and then I got sidetracked and ended up watching Pokemon World Championships. I don't even know how I got there. It was like a recommended video on the side, I think, and I just was like, oh, what is this? And then I clicked it because it's the opening ceremony. It was in Japan this year, and the opening ceremonies was like crazy, drums, all this, and it was like a clip from that, and I was like, what is this? And then I realized this was Pokemon World Championships, and then I watched that instead of this. So,
glowing endorsement for our videos.
I was there. I didn't need to rewatch it. I did because I wanted to remember what we were talking about. But I was there. It's less important for me to rewatch our replays. I watched our last week's session replay. I did that. But
more dice, increased duration. More dice, increased duration. What does that mean, Self? What does that mean?
Well, it says base up to 3 minutes. So I guess we're increasing it by 3 minutes. I was gonna say the extra targets and stuff is in casting, as I see. Increase area of effect, target distance, and then alter line of effect. Doesn't require an extra dose. You just choose line or cone for that one, and then but for Earth, we'll probably line of effect will be different than just. It won't be line or cone. It'll probably be square or line.
Yeah.
Or AoE, maybe not square, but AoE, or forward effect. And then.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the casting ones are going to be very similar too, though.
Yeah, but look, casting is a fairly straightforward art form, I want to say.
It move the thing from here to there.
It does what it says on the tin, man. Yeah. It's just like, listen. I know.
Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just copy the fucking nonsense I said from Sanguine.
Yeah.
Because I imagine because it's still that same emotional manipulation thing, right?
Yes. We're manipulating your emotions to feel like a pile of turds.
We are gaslighting with magic.
Or we can also, I suppose, do the opposite. Feel
true. Yeah, because it also has the steadfast, stoic, resolute. More dice. Increased duration, base up to 3 minutes, and difficulty of resist.
Yep.
Them's words.
I'm gonna have to rewatch last week.
I
to know
definitely
what the
am
hell
too.
we were talking about.
Definitely. Because once I rewatch that and know why I typed that, then this will make more sense.
Yep. Oh,
So,
gosh.
okay. And then
Let's just
casting.
let's just get through casting.
Which.
Oh my gosh. I I'm about to say a thing I know I said last time we did this. Now that we've got a system down, it'll go faster the next time we do this. However, I really think next time it will for 2 reasons. We won't have just moved.
Yes.
Is the first reason. So we won't be so off kilter from all of this. And the second reason is, hopefully, thanks to this experience, both of us will rewatch the entirety of last time.
Yeah.
So we have a better idea of what we were doing.
So actually, here's the thing: we did go faster.
We did go faster because last time
We
were
started
way
a little
up,
bit late.
Past the
Yeah, we were
midnight.
literally over by the time we got
Yeah.
there. We're like
Okay.
actually done, basically.
Cool.
So it was a
So we did
direct
go fast, but
directing of
I mean,
Earth.
I think we'll get it even better. We spent a lot of time on positivity, and that is a great thing, and I appreciate our chat for that because it is nice to be positive. But we did spend a lot of time goofing off and doing that. I don't mean goofing off as in that is doing it, goofing off and then also doing positivity. Those are 2
And
separate
also
things.
doing that. Yeah.
I just want to.
And we started a bit late.
We did.
We got
Because we had some audio issues, obviously from moving and having a new space and trying to figure out how everything sat in the move. Makes it a little different. Okay, so yeah, casting. We are.
So increase area of effect times 2 per dose. I think that still fits here.
Yeah,
Some of these do have distance.
We're directing Earth, so we're going to do like the classic Earth bending style moves of like shoving the ground at people, Earth spike bump, whatever. Very classic Earth bending esque moves here is really going on.
Exactly. Excuse me. Okay, so for this one, I think we do, because we're not looking at because it is, like I said, separate from the wind effect, as in we're like moving a physical object, which is a bit different. So it is. It's the same up until this last bit of like hurling, like actually throwing it or moving it, like pushing it through the air kind of thing. This is where we want to figure out basically distance and maybe force, right?
Yeah.
Obviously force can be just measured in like how many d6s are we going to have it do when it hits something. And then distance is in yards. So our baseline being well, it shouldn't be as fucking strong as like fucking Tristy. Like hitting somebody with a bolt of lightning is.
Yeah.
So lightning pretty much starts at the 2d6, so we can just make this 1d6.
I like that. We're basically just throwing rocks at people.
Yeah, it's a big ass rock, but
we're doing that, and then we're doing like in theory, if we're changing, because we can change line of effect from where it's 1 thrown rock, or we could also do like an AoE where it is a burst of debris. So it's going to be way smaller, but it's still going to do that 1d6 damage in basically every square surrounding kind of thing, instead of it being able to be thrown at however many. So that's your alter line of effect is going to be either just burst or line instead of line or cone, which is what we were doing with.
Line, cone, like burst, line, or cone. Oh, yeah, I have to put it here because the air inherently had a burst associated.
Yeah.
So I have to put burst in this one. Cool. Doesn't require extra doses for that. That's just casting roll.
Yep. Part of the roll is how you I almost said manifest, even though we have manifest, but how you demonstrate the casting ability, I want to say. Because that's what it is. Choosing your style of damage, or not damage, but area of effect or line of effect
like your projection.
Is part of your casting ability.
So currently solid materials. So we'd say, base damage d6, base distance. We want more than 5 yards here, I think.
For the
you can just
AOE.
for throwing.
For throwing it, yeah.
For
For throwing it,
yeah. I think for the burst area thing, that's
I want to say for throwing it, we're probably looking at. We're probably looking at least like, I want to say 20, but trying to see if we have something comparable. Throwing something. I'll look at it this way. So if we're standing, we're doing a burst, and we do every single square around us, that's 40 yards worth of distance we're making off of a burst, right? Because there's 8 squares surrounding one person's square.
Yes.
So
8 yards worth of space.
That's what I'm saying. So definitely, we can't throw it more than 40. So that's at most what we're going to do. If we want to start at 40, so it has the comparable level of force being applied, we could do that and see if that's too far. But we're just throwing one object 40 feet or 40 yards. We're throwing one rock 40 yards. It's doing 1d6 of damage. I don't think that's crazy.
No, especially because it's magic.
Yeah, it is magic, and it's not even half a football field.
Exactly. 40's not bad
for our American viewers who understand how everything in America is measured via football fields. It really
wait.
Though, man.
So do we want the burst?
We refuse to use the metric system,
right? So do we want the actual burst radius to be 1 yard then? So it's just every square around rather than 5.
If we do every square, sure, we could do that, or we could do where it is a.
Jump over here.
Let's just go with every square. Sure.
So
for now, we might need more, but I think every surrounding square makes sense for Earth for a debris burst to go around you. So. And
then, so say 1 yard be that many circles, just boom, just to demonstrate for the good old chat. So that's our baseline burst, just 1 square. Boof! Not huge. That's fine. 1 yard base for the burst. So our line would be, because just hurling the rocks on a line, that's like a range attack, essentially.
Range attack,
that's going to have a target, whereas a line is like hitting everything in that line. So like that'd be if you were doing like earth spikes or like metal shards flying through the air or something. So we're going 40 with the hurl. I say we go maybe half that for the line, so just go to 20.
I was going to just say 10, but 20 is fine with me.
20 is fine? Okay.
Line effects are one of those things where
10. No, you're right. 10 is fine.
Okay.
My brain keeps getting my brain keeps going Pathfinder distances, and I'm like, no, it's 10 yards.
Right.
So it's 10 spaces, not 10 feet, which is only 2 spaces.
Line effects also are one of those things that honestly, if we went 10 or 20, we're going to see a very similar amount of damage dealt for 10 and 20 in most situations. And then in some very niche situations, that extra 10 is going to matter a ton. So it's really tough sometimes to like pin those down and just talking about it. Because I know specifically, like I'm just thinking of the spell lightning, where most of the time I would hit on average 2 people. And then there was one instance where I got like 9 people with 1 cast of lightning down a hallway. And I was like, this is money. But that very rarely happens.
I wasn't big enough. Fuck you. It's not enough. I don't like it. Anyway. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you're right. 10 for the line is good. 10 yards base line. And for the cone, 5.
Yeah.
I hate cones. But it is what it is.
Me too.
Anyway, so that's done, and then hurling it, we can say 40 for the base. or 40 yard base.
And that may end up being a little too far, may end up being a little too short. Who knows?
Yeah, it's a long distance, which
it is a long distance. Most maps are gonna only have probably like realistically like visible line of sight for you that we do. Not much more than that, right? Like 40 squares out that is a visible, because usually there's gonna be a wall or something where you can't see the target, and you still need line of sight on the target to hit them with this. So
so if we go to, say, the mid-range, where each of these is 10 yards, that starts to matter a lot more. Because of the fact that we're also working with things like firearms, that distance can become real short real quick.
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah,
because like if you look at the screen now, I've got us on the mid-range map.
Yeah,
where each of these is 10 yards rather than just
and
one.
That's going to be way different when you're doing encounters and something like this. But I think like your average face-to-face encounter, you're going to be able to hit just about anybody you're dealing.
Yes. I am though imagining like the fucking disrespect that it would take to burn a bunch of humors to fucking hit some dude in like at like M1 Garand range with a fucking hunk of earth.
This is like a sniper, and you see the glint of his scope, and you're like, all right, this is gonna take like 6 humors, but I'm gonna nail this mofo. Like, throw off his shot. That would be hilarious.
Get hit with a giant ass yoked motherfucking dirt quad from that distance. Fucking damn near kills you.
Let's be real though. If you were like
Day of the Tiles to the max, right?
There's been many times in video games where like somebody's getting away and you're like, fuck this guy. Can I almost kill myself to just get this guy?
It just reminds me of when we were chasing that Rohim down, and I was just using every available ability of like teleporting to chase this dude down. I was like max distance and running like as fast as I can to chase this flying dude, like completely irrelevant of everything going on around me. Like all that stuff didn't matter. Like I don't even care. Just I'm gonna get him. You were like cloud stepping and double dashing or whatever crazy nonsense trying to catch this guy. We both were just like all out.
Oh, hey, look, you could use it to like knock a grenade away.
Yeah. See?
Oh shit! Bang.
I think it will be very useful.
It's a good distance. I like that distance. 40 feet.
I think
as a base.
I think it's good. We may end up going to 50. Who knows? We may go down to 30. I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah.
Ooh, I guess that's the other part of the question. What does the casting roll actually affect here?
So our casting roll is our ability
to achieve that distance, I guess.
Achieve the thing, achieve either the distance or the effect we want. Yeah, because if we fail in our casting roll, then we're not going to be able to do the thing. We can't cone it. We can't whatever. We can't. That's what casting is doing. We're directing those forces, right?
Yeah, additional successes are not relevant here necessarily. Unless you like crit, then some boon to it. But
But this is also going to be like if we want to throw a rock and there's not a rock, we've got to manifest then cast, right? So it's going to take action. Manifestation, and then the casting ability to hurl this rock 40 yards at somebody. Mm-hmm. And so like I think that is literally, if you fail it, you're not throwing it the full distance. You know, it's puttering out. It's not going to hit your target. So then your rock just kind of goes bloop, and you're like, crap.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah. That's right. It's literally just succeed to do the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and then damage. 1d6 base. We could give it the benefit of being like it has like all of the different kinds of physical damage types. So it's like bludgeoning, slashing, and piercing.
We could also, if we're gonna end up
'Cause
doing
it's
some kind of
just
stagger
piecemeal.
mechanic or whatever, this could also have a potential to stagger. Where if it's getting hit with a big object, it's gonna
Yeah.
knock you around. It's gonna change where you are. So
Yeah. Could definitely come up with other things it can do.
yeah.
Knocks people prone, that kind of shit too, right?
Yeah. Or even could be one of those things where it moves you out of your space.
This is what, like, this is about a. It was about, right? Or wait,
Yeah.
that's about a yardstick, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can quite see.
Just
me
take your
in
foot
Zoom.
3 times, Patrick. It's just,
Chat can't. But it's,
but
yeah.
it's like the size of our frame, essentially, of
That's
where
a
we're framed
fucking
in our.
Big chunk of
Big ball.
Earth, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll knock someone down for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so
He's
we get 1d6 because in this system you don't have a ton of hit points generally. So a d6 of damage could be it.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
That could be
It's
it.
spicy.
Yes. Yes, it's spicy indeed. Also, I would say this counts more like a melee attack or like a physical, like it's not bullets.
Right.
So I don't think the Aegis protects you from
I was gonna say
giant
too,
boulder. Right?
I don't think
yeah.
that he just gets to stop this.
Like if you were doing the thing of like, okay, I'm gonna explode the rock so you get hit with a bunch of shrapnel.
Yeah.
Sure, I could say the Aegis protects you. Those are fast moving enough. But just like giant rock, bruh, it's not what it's designed for.
No, it's designed to stop bullets and arrows, not
Small,
a big rock. So
small, high velocity projectiles.
I'm a fan.
Cool. So yeah, that's done. That's completely done. Phlegmatic is water. I just completely forgot that I had like all of these like extra little notes down here to help with these.
Me too.
Shape condense in shape bodily fluids. Cool. Summon. Stereomania morale boost. Move water liquid. Cool. Well, we got 15 minutes left. We can get started on it. Part of my brain's just like, no, just call it early, but no.
Yeah, that's
No,
also
how
part of
dare.
my brain. It's just talk for 15 minutes, but
We're kind of on a roll. We can get this started. Plus, getting the simple thing out of the way makes for a huge head start for next time.
yeah. See if we just knock that one out. I'm happy.
Yeah, because because we kind of established we don't want it to just summon water,
Right.
like it can, like the sanguine does technically just produce air. It's just it doesn't do quite as much as the manifestation does. Yeah, I guess with that being said, I'm fine with just invoking it being like, okay, cool, you created water. It's not like a shitload, but you created some water. Unless we can come up with another idea. I just can't think of a good other thing to do with it. The Earth gravity thing is like, okay, yeah, we can loosely relate those, but water is tougher. Because we don't want it to make it too narrow where it's like you have to have water around you for it to be useful to invoke this, you know?
Yeah.
And again, that's just really useful. It's one
Great
of the
water.
more...
Yeah, great water is very useful. Just even if it's just a gallon jug of water.
Yeah.
If it's potable water, man, that's incredibly useful.
Right. Like, that's just one of the... Like, it almost... I guess that's what's getting me, is it almost feels like... If I'm trying to think from the player mindset, okay, so this thing, this dose of humor, if we invoke it, it's just turning into, like, water energy, essentially. I kind of would be expecting it to turn into water if I can unleash the energy in it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I like basic, super simple create water. We're not making a lot, but it's potable water you can drink.
Exact amount. Yeah. It's just this much. You can drink it. You can fill your canteens.
Yeah.
Dude, fuck yeah. No, that's great.
Whereas when we're doing,
when we talk about it,
when we're doing our manifestation, we're creating a large amount of water. We're making a downpour, basically.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, the more we talk about it, the more I like that. That's
basic create water. How much water does create water?
Bunch of gallons.
Well, I don't even think we need that much. So let's see. It makes 2 gallons of water per level, so that's a lot. But if we do 2 gallons per dose of humor you use, that's 2 gallons of drinking water. It's 16 pounds of liquid, roughly, since water weighs about 8 pounds a gallon. And it's not being made in a container, so you have to already have the container because you're just making water.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we were also going on. We were basing around the second level.
Yeah, we were.
When we did the air, so we could do. That would make your caster level 4.
4. Yeah.
Or wait, well, clerics are full casters, so your caster level 3.
Okay, so that's 6 gallons.
6 gallons. That's plenty. I think that's fine.
6 gallons of water.
Yeah. Yeah. 6 gallons is significant.
Yeah. And say clerics, druids, and shamans can all learn to create water, and they're all full casters. So. Yeah.
The only not full casters are the inquisitors and the paladins.
And paladins is a first level spell for paladins. It's not even.
They don't have.
Yeah, it's not an orison, so it's an actual spell.
I don't know any paladins who ever take create water.
No, why would you?
It's very thematic.
It's not what you do. It is, but it's not what you do. You're a paladin. Come on.
Yeah. Nah.
I still always will remember this friggin' cleric we had at a party one time who was trying to sink a boat by casting create water over and over again. We're like, dude, it's gonna take you way too long to do this. It's not feasible.
Buddy, you're thousands of gallons of water. That's gonna take.
You're in a warship and you're like level 3, so you're not making a lot of water, dude.
Jesus Christ!
Trying to sink this ship, and it's like we're in a fight. You're never gonna be able to cast the spell enough times in this fight to make a difference.
You're not gonna cast that spell enough times in a week.
Yeah.
Since you met.
It's like when your ship is like filling with water rapidly and you're just scooping buckets and throwing them out. It's the same level of effectiveness, just in reverse.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, you're not doing anything, but it was real funny.
Well, I'm trying to think of how you can make that work.
I'll never forget that. It was so funny.
Because it's create water, not shape water, right?
Yeah, you're just creating water. You would just have to do it over an incredibly long period of time. And just constantly be casting.
With nothing to counteract you.
Yeah. With nobody stopping you by yourself.
You could affect the balance of the ship by distributing the weight of the water differently.
Sure.
But that's about it.
No,
that would be the easiest way.
Yeah. You might even capsize it.
You're going to need
that's still going to take forever.
You're going to need a lot of people casting this spell together, uninterrupted, in the lower decks of a boat. Like a large ship. A small boat you could do this on. But we're talking, this was like a frigate. This was like a
fucking
big
warship.
Boat. Yeah, this was a really big ship.
Crazy.
At some point, fire
also
more effective.
Also, I'm pretty sure it only lasts a certain amount of time.
Yeah, I think a
disappears after one day if not consumed.
There you go. So you would have had to have a ton of people in there doing that simultaneously together to get enough water to sink this boat. And I just forever, that is one of my lasting memories of a thing somebody did that was really dumb in Pathfinder. And this was 11 or 12 years ago at this point. I'll never forget that, and it was real funny.
There is a different route we could go with this. I think we probably stick with the 6 gallons.
Yeah.
But 1 cubic foot of water contains roughly 8 gallons.
Okay.
So if we triple that, we could get a cubic yard.
Yeah.
Which is a lot more water. But I think we stick with the 6. I think we do that.
It's fine.
Oh, because the other is a lot.
If we want,
And it also
be
exceeds our
yeah. I was
caster
gonna
level
say,
equivalents.
we could also do 5 if we really want to be like making it as easy as
yeah,
possible.
yeah.
But 6 is fine with me. I'm fine with 6 gallons of water. Heck, I'd be fine with 8 gallons of water.
But actually, let's go
But-
8.
Okay, that's fine.
Because that's a cubic foot, so
Yeah,
that
cubic
makes
foot
it
of
easier
water.
to
Let's
scale
go.
up.
8 gallons of water.
Easier to
Let's do
scale.
it.
Yeah,
Easy peasy. 8 gallons of water. I'm down.
yeah, 8 gallons.
1
of
cubic
water.
foot of water.
Yeah. 1.
How many
cubic
liters is that?
foot of water.
Thank you,
Weighs
internet.
60 pounds. Cool.
Also, howdy, first time talker.
Smoosh.
Sea Goat Games.
By the way, it's 30.28
Hello,
liters.
Seagup Games. Welcome. It's what? Sorry.
30.28 liters.
Oh, weird.
Because I just said how many liters is that since we're. Yeah. Sea goat like Capricorn? Or sea goat like just a goat of the sea?
Why not both?
I mean, I'm sure.
Is that anything like chicken of the sea?
¿Por qué no las dos? Yeah, that's.
What kind of fish is the goat of the sea? The chicken is tuna.
I mean, yeah, but like tuna's really not a damn thing like a chicken.
Yeah, but it's the chicken
Yeah.
of the sea.
Thanks,
'Cause it's-
branding.
Common, I guess, you know?
Thanks,
like,
branding.
so
No, it's because
What's-
branding. That's why.
What's the game about besides 1 cubic foot of water? A lot of things. So, hold on, where's my dealing with Jake?
salmon?
Ah!
While
the follow.
while doing that, I
Let
will.
me-
Yeah, hold on. I will also invite to the server. So, because I meant to put that in at the beginning of the call at the beginning of the stream.
Squirtle dab. Classic.
We've got a Shard TTRPG area in our Discord server where we talk a whole lot about this, and we have a bunch of stuff in there about this is a game and its setting and all of those things.
I would go in a whole diatribe explaining our plot and everything. It's just we're about to close up in about 5 minutes. But I did post the brief breakdown inside the chat for you there.
I saw.
Sea goat.
Eye twitches. It's that time of night.
It is.
I've been awake too long.
I'm sleepy.
I'm also sleepy. We got fives more.
The problem is I'm not sleepy, and I need to be sleepy.
The
I took a
ad break
nap
hit.
earlier today, and it absolutely destroyed any chance of me being tired at the time I'm supposed to go to bed.
I failed at taking a nap. Does that count?
No,
I failed.
that just makes you
failed
sleepier.
taking 2 naps.
Uh,
Jeez. Shit. Okay.
Gesundheit. Altisway, since we're learning French. I'll say Altisway.
Okay. Merci. Okay.
I was teaching my kid French and teaching her stuff the other day, and then I went to leave, and I was like, au revoir, or whatever. And she goes, Dad, enough French. And I was like, you need to learn this while your brain is mushy and impressionable. They don't struggle like I have over the last how many years I've been learning French.
Interesting. So, okay, so we can do the similar thing we did with the air, which is the air, we have summon air. 5-yard radius is filled with air for up to 3 rounds, 1 round per success. Can either be forceful as the simple effect or gentle so as not to air blast everyone. So, we can do something very similar with the phlegmatic manifestation. I know I'm skipping ahead just because it was the comparable thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we go summon water.
We're making a lot more water, and we're either
Yeah.
making it where it just shows up as water, or it is like woof, water, you know?
Yeah, and this is also rather than just going. I rated it. It's like, okay, well, it continues to produce for 3 rounds.
Right.
So
It's like downpour or
Yeah.
whatever.
or
Rainy day,
guys,
whatever.
or however you want to do it.
Yeah.
Can it be forceful.
Or as the British would say, geezer. Oh, my God.
A simple outpouring. Or
I forget what I was
as
listening
the
to, but I was
simple
listening to an
effect.
audiobook where somebody kept saying geezer, well, in reference to geyser. And I swear, I was like, what is with this random old person? For like the first 3 times they said it, until I figured out they were talking about a geyser. And I was like, oh, okay. It's my uncultured American ears that didn't understand what's happening here.
Yeah, resolution mechanic. Think similar to like White Wolf games, where try to get as many D10s as you can, and there is a target number on the die you're trying to hit for success. In our case, it is 6. And some things take more than 1 success to succeed. Many things do, in fact. Average, I think, being 2. Average difficulty generally is being 2. Yeah.
And then there are also ways to affect your target number on your dice and also your amount of successes needed. So
Yes.
ways to both lower and increase that depending for mechanics for our narrator, which is your GM, and then also for our players.
Yeah. So yeah, and basically right now we're coming up with the magic system is based on the traditional humors, sanguine, phlegmatic, melancholic, choleric, used in like old ass alchemy and whatnot. We had a 5th, the Emura humor, which is the plasma. It is our first TTRPG for sure.
Yeah, that we're creating. Well, actually,
that we're creating. We played some,
one, but it's technically my second one. I made
It's
one
your second
already, but it is not like published or anything. But I have made one.
But yeah, this is our first one. Quite ambitious. Yeah, we're pretty much just making it live. Once a month, we come in here and do some work on it. The other Tuesdays that we were live, we were playing Pathfinder First Edition in a campaign called Into the Storm, where we have one other person who is a player in that, and I GM the games. So that will be next Tuesday.
And then now that our housing situation has been leveled, Mondays we'll probably have more streams for me doing stuff, and then we'll probably end up getting some more random lore streams from Patrick. And then if we can ever convince Panda to stream himself going shooty bang bang on the internets, then maybe he'll do that too.
Yeah. So yeah, welcome. Glad to have you. We'll we always chit chat stuff in the Discord. It is midnight, so we are gonna wrap here actually.
Yeah.
But
and I'm gonna do that thing I do
see you
every midnight, where I plug all the stuff we have, because we have Facebook, we have Instagram that I really need to post more on. But taking pictures is hard. We have Twitter, X, excuse me, and they are all natural_1s. We also have a YouTube where we post the replays of every single thing we do on Mondays around noon. So it's the replay from the previous week. The last week's session just came out yesterday. It's pretty good. You can go watch. There's also a bunch of other stuff on there. We're doing different videos about the world that we play in called Hyatt, and then also we had like a one shot that was really like a 2 or 3 shot that we did that was really cool. But anyways, that's all on the YouTube, which is great. And then we have a Patreon as well, and Panda has a podcast that is available only through our Patreon. Well, don't sleep to us.
Yeah, that's what Hyperfase is talking about. We do live plays. So next Tuesday, we'll be back to our Into the Storm campaign. Into the Storm.
Yeah.
And you can, if you want to join us there, you'll get to see the adventures of Eli Wasif, Samuel Goodbean, and Lamia Sator as they they're near the conclusion of this arc, actually. They just had some rather harrowing encounters. Trying not to die.
Yep.
So you can jump in there. We always start off with a recap. So
if campaign names were honest, trying not to die would be the name of this one.
Yep. All those are posted on our YouTube as well. So if you ever want to go through there and binge through those, feel free, as well as backstory adventures for each of our characters. We've also got solos.
All 9 other Making a TTRPGs on there if you want to watch the journey that we've gone through so far of working on this.
Also true. All 9. Everything's recorded.